Thank you all for coming. So we're just going to wait a few minutes. There's many more people coming. You got cartons? Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Baradari Jaya Giri Baradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Baradari Jaya Giri Baradari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jaya Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jaya Braja Janaranjana. Jaya Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari. 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 Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana 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 Jamuna Tira Bonachari 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 Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Haribo. Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jai Sri Guru Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhagavad Gita, please. And water, please. Thank you. Thank you. So, which shloka would you like me to speak on? 7-7, okay. 7 is my lucky number, so that 7-7. Here we are. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, as it is, chapter 7, which is entitled Knowledge of the Absolute. And this is shloka number 7. You please repeat after me. Matta Parataram Nanyat. Matta Parataram Nanyat. Kinchid Asti Dhananjaya. Kinchid Asti Dhananjaya. Mayi Sarvam Idam Protam. Mayi Sarvam Idam Protam. Sutre Mani Gana Eva. Sutre Mani Gana Eva. Matta Parataram Nanyat. Kinchid Asti Dhananjaya. Mayi Sarvam Idam Protam. Sutre Mani Gana Eva. Matta Parataram Nanyat. Kinchid Asti Dhananjaya. Mayi Sarvam Idam Protam. Sutre Mani Gana Eva. Vaishnavis.
Shutre mani gana iva Matta parataram nanyat Kinchid ashti dhananjaya Mayi sarvam idam protam Sutre mani gana iva
Matta, beyond me. Parataram, superior. Na, not. Anyat kinchit, anything else. Asti, there is. Dhananjaya, O conqueror of wealth. Mayi, in me. Sarvam, all that be. Idam, which we see. Protam, is strung. Sutre, on a thread. Manigana, pearls. Eva, like. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me, as pearls are strung on a thread. Srila Prabhupada's purport. There is a common controversy over whether the Supreme Absolute Truth is personal or impersonal. As far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, the Absolute Truth is the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, and this is confirmed in every step. In this verse in particular, it is stressed that the Absolute Truth is a person, that the personality of Godhead is the Supreme Absolute Truth is also the affirmation of the Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha. That is, the Supreme Absolute Truth, personality of Godhead, is Lord Krishna, who is the primeval Lord, the reservoir of all pleasure, Govinda, and the eternal form of complete bliss and knowledge. These authorities leave no doubt that the Absolute Truth is a Supreme Person, the cause of all causes. The impersonalist, however, argues on the strength of the Vedic version given in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Tato yad uttarattaram tad arupam anammayam ya etad viduram ritaste bhavanti atetare dukhameva priyanti. In the material world, Brahma, the primeval living entity within the universe, is understood to be the supreme amongst the demigods, human beings, and lower animals. But beyond Brahma, there is the transcendence, who has no material form and is free from all material contaminations. Anyone who can know him also becomes transcendental. But those who do not know him suffer the miseries of the material world. End of quote. The impersonalist puts more stress on the word arupam. But this arupam is not impersonal. It indicates the transcendental form of eternity, bliss, and knowledge, as described in the Brahma Samhita quoted above. Other verses in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad 3, 8, and 9 substantiate this as follows. Vedahametam purusham mahantam aditya varnam tamasa parastat tam eva viditvati mrityumeti nanya panta vidyateya naya yasmat param na param asti kinchit yasman aniyo no jayosti kinchit vriksha iva stabdho divi tishtatekas tenedam purnam purushena sarvam. Quote, I know that Supreme Personality of Godhead who is transcendental to all material conceptions of darkness. Only he who knows him can transcend the bonds of birth and death. There is no way for liberation other than this knowledge of that Supreme Person. There is no truth superior to that Supreme Person because he is the supermost. He is smaller than the smallest, and he is greater than the greatest. He is situated as a silent tree, and he illuminates the transcendental sky. And as a tree spreads its roots, he spreads his extensive energies. From these verses, one concludes that the Supreme Absolute Truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is all-pervading by his multi-energies, both material and spiritual. So here, Srila Prabhupada in the purport is quoting these shlokas from the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. And in particular, the word arupam is emphasized by some. Rupa means form, so arupa means no form, right? That's Sanskrit. In Hindi or Bengali, they say akar or nirakar, right? So we were in Rishikesh about 5 or 6 years ago. We met this very nice man. He was a healer, and he was doing some healing. So then we had a transcendental discourse subsequently. And he was saying how everything comes from Brahma, that everything comes from Nirakara, from Arupam. So after he finished speaking, I said that we have experience that the Nirakar comes from the Akar. And I gave him many examples. First I gave the example of the sun, which has a form, but the sunshine that comes from the sun is formless. I gave another example of the flower, which has form, but the fragrance coming from the flower is formless. And then the third example I gave was of a human being. I have form, but when I speak, the sound vibration coming from me is formless. So I said, now I have shown to you that the formless comes from the form. The nirakar comes from akar. Can you give me some examples to prove your point? So he was thinking that from the formless comes form. And he couldn't think of any example. And then all of a sudden, he smiled and he started laughing. You're right. It was like a realization that he had. So, Srila Prabhupada has given us so much understanding that we can discuss any of these points with anybody, and we can show that their philosophical position is not very strong. In fact, it's based mainly on blind faith. Blind faith means that they have no evidence to back it up. So I asked him, can you give me an example? But he couldn't do that. Now, he was quite learned. He was quoting Shastra and everything. There's no example that the formless comes from, that the form comes from that which is formless. But the example of the form being first and then the formless comes, there are many examples. So here, Prabhupada is stressing that because nirvisesha shunyavadi, because everyone in this day and age are impersonalists and voidists. And so he wants to stress the personality of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in this verse, Krishna says, there is no truth superior to me. The word mata means me. Mam ekang, make me number one. Krishna uses the word me in the context of a person speaking to another person. We have the Supreme Person, Krishna, speaking to Arjuna. It's a conversation between two persons. And Krishna is trying to impart a particular understanding to Arjuna. It's not that he's speaking poetry, that we can take any interpretation that we choose. It's not that he's giving a treatise on philosophy, but he's actually giving the understanding that Arjuna should surrender to Krishna's will. Because Arjuna has a different idea. And Krishna is saying that your idea is not in harmony with reality. Therefore, you should take my idea and surrender to me. Well, why? Arjuna wants to know. And the answer is that Krishna is Trikalagya. He sees everything past, present, and future. Now, if you had a friend who could see the future, and you went and asked him what's going to happen, and he told you, and it happened again and again and again, then you would be very confident that whatever he said was true. Now, we all have such a friend. Every one of us has such a friend. And he's residing in our heart. It's the localized aspect of Sri Krishna known as Paramatma. And he's constantly speaking to us, giving us good guidance and good advice. The problem is we don't listen. We don't follow. Now, this sounds to you like a philosophical point. But if I can show you in your own experience that you're experiencing this every day, then you will accept it because it's from your own life. Correct? So, how do I know what is your own experience? How can I tell you and prove to you by your experience in your life that Krishna is speaking to you daily? And here's how I will do it. Sometimes when I'm going somewhere or I'm doing something, I hear a voice within and says, go here or do that, do this or that. And I stop and I think about it and I analyze the situation, and then I don't follow. I come up with another idea. But later on, I find out, whoops, I made a mistake and that voice was right. I should have followed that voice. Has anyone else had that experience? How many people have had that experience? Well, you're smiling, but I need to see hands. So, we're all experiencing this. Now, what happened to me in 1991, I was driving from New York to Los Angeles in January. So as I got close to Chicago on the first day, I wanted to go as far as I could each day because it's a long drive. So the sun was beginning to go down and it had been raining. Then all of a sudden, it was getting colder and colder and that rain was turning into snow. And then on the highway was slush. That snow was building up. And as the sun was about to set, a little voice said to me, exit, take the next exit and get a hotel, you're finished for the day. And I thought, but it's still light out. And I wanted to go further. So I thought about it and I thought, well, I can go a couple of more exits. And I remember driving past that exit and looking at it. And then as I kept going, all of a sudden the road was very slippery. It was colder and colder, the sun had set, and it was icy. And so I was slowing down, being very careful, and then all of a sudden the car started sliding. So I tried to turn against the wheel against the direction you're sliding, gently apply the brakes like they teach you, but I was on ice. So the car was just sliding and it was turning and I was going sideways down the highway. And it kept turning, I was going backwards down the highway. And in my mind, I saw myself going off the road, tumbling over and over again. And so I called out, Krishna, help, very sincerely. Anyway, the car kept turning, and all of a sudden it was a 45-degree angle, and it moved forward into the snowbank on the side of the road and came to a stop. And just as it did, a big semi-trailer, you know, those 18-wheelers, went by in the lane I was in. And I realized, oh my God, if 1 or 2 seconds earlier he would have hit me like this, and I would have been mashed potatoes. So I was thinking about it, and I remembered that voice told me to exit. Anyway, to make a long story short, that night I got a motel. I was meditating on this. And I thought about all the times that I'd heard the voice but never listened to it. And I came to the conclusion that whoever this voice is, I didn't have any idea who it was or what it was or where it was coming from. But one thing I was sure, that this voice knew the future. Because every time I came to the future, I would see that what the voice had said was correct. And why I analyzed it in the present was based on my knowledge of the present. I concluded and came to another conclusion. But when I got to the future, I saw that my analyzing was wrong and that the voice was correct. And then when I realized that it happens frequently, and I asked other people, it happened to them too, I thought, this is Paramatma communicating with us. Because who else can see the future? Does anybody know who else can see the future? No. So then I thought, well, what I have to do is train myself to hear that voice. But it wasn't easy, because I had developed a bad habit over many lifetimes that became samskaras in my consciousness that I wouldn't follow, but I would analyze and come to my own decision. So I would hear that voice and I would analyze, and then all of a sudden later on I said, wait a minute, I was supposed to not do that. I was supposed to follow that voice. So I was trying to train myself up to hear that voice, and the time lag between when I didn't follow and I came to the realization I was supposed to follow became less and less, until it was just a couple of minutes. Oh, wait a minute, I blew it. So the understanding is that the Supreme Lord is guiding his devotees. In other words, we always say Krishna makes an arrangement for us. So he makes an arrangement, or he speaks to us and gives us good counsel, but we never listen. Now, supposing you came to me and you wanted to reveal your heart to me. You had some difficulty, you wanted to share something. And you spoke and asked for my guidance. And then I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking something else. I didn't hear what you said." How would you feel?
Very dejected.
Dejected. Would you feel that I was rude?
Yes, kind of.
Would you think that maybe I insulted you?
Little bit.
So why do we do that to Krishna? He's speaking to us. We don't listen. We don't pay any attention. Is that the way to establish a relationship with anybody? But isn't that what we're supposed to do to establish a relationship with Krishna? Then we're working against our own best interests. I'll give you another example. How many people have had this experience? We're chanting our japa, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare. All of a sudden I come to the end of the round, to the Krishna bead. And I can't quite remember how I got there. Has anybody had that experience? Well, why can't you remember? Why you can't remember is because the definition of remembering means that something went in first, and then I can now bring it back out. We can't remember because the holy name never went into our consciousness in the first place. That's why we can't remember. Why did it not go in? Because we were inattentive. We were thinking something else. What I call time traveling. Our mind went to the past, to the future, to the present. And were we thinking of Krishna Leela? Or were we thinking my Leela? Now all of you are very educated. You all remember sitting in the classroom in front of the professor and taking notes? But sometimes when you're taking notes, your mind begins to wander and you start thinking something and you miss the next point the professor makes. So you lean over and copy the note from your neighbor's notes. Put it in your notes. How many people have had that experience? What do we learn from this? We learn that when you think, you can't hear. When you think, you cannot hear. So if you're thinking during your japa, you're not hearing the holy name. It's not entering in your ear, not entering into your consciousness, not entering into your heart, and therefore Cheto Darpana Marjanam is not taking place. And because it's not entering into our consciousness, we don't remember. Now, how did I get to the end of that round? I don't remember. How many people have had this experience? You're chanting japa, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare, and you come to the end. 16 rounds. I'm finished. Thank God. How many people have had that experience? Is that the way to establish a connection with Krishna? What message are we sending to him? I'm so glad and I'm finished chanting your name. It's such a yajna. What a relief. It's over and done with. Now I can do something I enjoy. Is that a way to establish a relationship with anybody? So what are we doing? What's going on? When you come to the end of the round and you can't remember how you got there, you're faced with a choice. I can either chant the round again and be very attentive and hear, or I can count it as a round chanted. How many people count it as a round chanted? So if we chant 16 rounds that we never hear, can we make advancement? What do you think? Why can't you make advancement? Because the 10th offense is to be inattentive while chanting and maintaining material attachments even after hearing so many instructions on the matter. In other words, no one makes advancement by committing aparad. And since Shravanam Kirtanam, since Shravanam is hearing, and we're not hearing because we're thinking, we're not really following the process. Now, why are we not hearing? Why is our mind thinking so many things while we're chanting the japa? Who knows?
I was going to say, because Maya is trying to pull you away.
He's blaming it on Maya. Wasn't me what done it, mate. It was him. Everybody in the penitentiary is innocent. They were framed. It's because we're not interested. We're doing the japa just to get it over with. And when we get it over with, we're very happy. So we don't have a taste for the japa. That's our problem. So what we want to do is we want to become conscious. Prabhupada told us in 1975 in LA when I was there. He said, don't be Krishna unconscious. I'd never heard that phrase before. Don't be Krishna unconscious. He said, first become conscious, and then you can become Krishna conscious. First become conscious, then you can become Krishna conscious. In other words, we have to become fully aware that we're dealing with Krishna, because Krishna and his holy name are non-different. How many people believe that? But we're not acting like we believe it. That's our problem. We are not acting like we believe it. So everyone's chanting japa. Who can tell me what japa is? What is japa?
Krishna says of meditations, he is japa.
He is japa. Well, if Krishna is japa, you're ignoring him. Why is that? Why are you thinking so many things if he's japa? He's next.
You're asking for Lord Krishna to give you service.
We're asking Krishna to give us service, but we're not even hearing. The mind is going here and there and everywhere. And we're thinking of things I did in the past, things I want to do in the future, things I need to get done in the present. I'm only thinking of me. We're not thinking of Krishna.
So I think we're not using our free will to make the right choice at that given
Well, we're definitely misusing our freedom to choose. But what is japa? What is it? How do you define it to someone who has just come to the temple?
I was gonna say like it's a. It's just low. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Oh. It's a form of practice. I was gonna say like practice, so we can get better at trying to achieve the goal.
It's a practice to do better. Well, if I'm practicing the violin, but I don't pick it up and play it, and my mother says, "What are you doing in that room?" "I'm practicing my violin." But I'm doing something else. Maybe I'm reading comics, you know. So you got your hand in the bead bag, but you're actually thinking this, that, and the other thing, you know. You're not really there. That's why you can't remember how you got to the end of the round. So what is japa? If we understood what japa was, do you think we might do it better? Yes. So here's one realization, and there probably are others, but here's one realization of what japa is. Japa is my quality, intimate time alone with Krishna, where I stop all social interaction. I'm just alone with Krishna, me and Krishna together. Just like Radharani is in the Kunj, alone with Krishna. She's not thinking anything else except Krishna. But we don't have that concept, that I'm alone with, it's just my quality time with Krishna. We're not making it our quality time alone with Krishna. So the ideal way to do japa is to put yourself in a state where nothing can disturb you, and it's your quality time with Krishna. And you're chanting his names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Because Krishna is everything. As pearls are strung on a thread, our consciousness has to be strung on the holy names of Krishna. Those holy names of Krishna are like the pearls, and our consciousness is the thread. We can relate this verse to chanting japa. But if we don't have that awareness, if we don't have that consciousness, then we're going to allow our minds to drift off, because we're thinking that japa is just a duty that I have to get done as an obligation of being a disciple. And the sooner I get it done, the better. The sooner I get it over with. But if we realize that it's actually Krishna, then we want to focus in and taste the nectar of his holy names. So here's what I would suggest. Here's one idea. How to solve the problem of the japa. This is my idea. And it's just to inspire you. You can come up with your own ideas. But until we solve that idea, that concept of chanting properly, we're going to be stuck in a rut of being inattentive, which means we're ignoring or insulting or being rude to Krishna while chanting his holy name. So here's the idea I came up with. I wanted to thank Krishna for everything he's done for me. Krishna has given us our most precious possession. And what is that? Our next breath. If anyone doubts that your next breath is your most precious possession. Come with me to the Ganga. I'll put your head under the water, and I guarantee you in 30 seconds you'll get that realization. As long as we're breathing, we keep getting that next breath, we can do our service. When the last breath comes, the game is over. So I'm thanking Krishna for every breath I take, for every step I take, for every vow I make or break, for every morsel of prasadam that I eat, for the water that I drink, for the water that cleanses my body, for everything that He's given to me, the association, my spiritual master, the deities, the holy names. So I was thinking, just to say thank you, Krishna, it was good, but I wanted to do better. So I was thinking, what could I do better? I could give Krishna a gift. If you want to thank somebody for something they've done for you, and you give them a gift and a card, dear so-and-so, thank you so much for what you did for me. Here's this gift. I'm very obligated to you, very appreciative. Right? So what gift could I give to Krishna? So the gift that I decided I would give to Krishna would be an offenseless mantra. One offenseless mantra. How many people have read or heard that if you chant the holy name of the Lord just even once, you can attain Krishna Prema? Has anybody heard that? So I was thinking, this is the gift I'll give to Krishna. So before I start Japa, what I want to do is give Krishna one offenseless mantra. Close my eyes, and with my heart, thank Krishna for everything He's done for me, and chant with full feeling and consciousness. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then chant the rest of the round. But then I had another idea. Why not do that at the beginning of each round? So that every day I was chanting 16 offenseless mantras. So after doing that for a couple of weeks, you will experience a great change in your consciousness. You become more enlivened. You begin to experience and taste the nectar of the holy name. And you might get a realization that why don't I chant the first 2 mantras of each round like that? So that at the end of 16 rounds, I'm chanting 32 offenseless mantras every day. What do you think of this idea? So that was the stage 1 or phase 1 of trying to improve the japa. Then phase 2, are you interested to hear phase 2? Yes. Phase 2 was how to deal with the rest of the rounds. Because you can't chant 16 rounds. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That would take all day. So then my next idea was how to solve the problem of the rest of the round. You interested to hear that? So what we need in order to do that, you need Prabhupada chanting japa. You have Prabhupada chanting japa, and you chant exactly in sync with Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You do it exactly in sync, not slower, not faster, but identically. And if you practice that, within a day, you can do that. Now, why do you do that? The reason we do that is because when you're in sync with Prabhupada, in order to stay in sync, you have to be fully conscious. And when your mind starts wandering, you lose the synchronization. And immediately you realize, I'm not in sync. Boom, you get back in. So this is a method to control the mind. When it starts to wander, you stop it immediately. And you get back in sync with Srila Prabhupada. So now you're hearing your japa. There's no question when you get to the end of the round, you can't remember how you got there. You know exactly how you got there. And you're hearing your own japa, plus you're hearing Prabhupada's japa at the same time. You think this is powerful? Yes. So try it. Try to implement this in your life as far as possible. The recommendation is that you chant japa in the same place every day. You have your place. And that's like your kunj, where you have your quality time alone with Krishna. No social interaction. No one's going to disturb you. You let everybody know. You put on the door sign, do not disturb. Turn the cell phone off, everything's off. It's just you and Krishna, and you're chanting his holy names. Now, there's a caveat to this. If you follow this, within 3 or 4 weeks, you will completely lose your taste for any material enjoyment. So if you don't want to lose your taste for material enjoyment, don't do this. But if you want to experience the nectar and go to a deeper, more profound level where you can actually experience that all things that are controlled by Krishna, and that everything is like pearls strung on a thread, and that there is no truth superior to him, because you will experience it by your transcendental consciousness. So that no longer will this be something that you read in a book. No longer will this be something that you heard from some senior Vaishnava. But you're directly experiencing it yourself. And what do we call that? Self-realization. Is this the science of self-realization, what Prabhupada gave us? Yes. Who knows this verse? Raja Vidya Raja Guyam Pavitram Midam Uttamam Pratyaksha Dharmyam Susukam Kartum Avyayam. So Krishna says that this teaching is the highest knowledge. It's the most confidential, most secret of all secrets. It's the purest knowledge, and it's the most transcendental knowledge. And how do we understand it? Pratyaksha bhagamam dharmyam. We understand this dharma directly from within the heart. In other words, it's directly experiential. We experience it. And what is the result? What happens to you when you experience it directly from within your heart? Susukam kartum. Everything you do is joyfully performed. Now, sukam kartum means joyfully perform. Krishna is saying susukam. It's more joyful than joyful. It's supremely joyful. Avyayam, and it's inexhaustible. There's no end to it. It increases over and over, more and more. But unless we experience this, then it's just something that we read in the book. It's just something we heard someone else say. But we're not there. But we want to have that experience, is it not? So, when are we going to get serious? When are we going to get serious? Right now. What does that mean, right now? It means from this moment on. From this moment on, I'm going to refocus my attention to Krishna's holy names, because Krishna's holy names is everything. Just like this verse says, there's no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread, right? Well, if the holy name is non-different than Krishna, then there's no truth superior to the holy name, and everything rests on the holy name as pearls are strung on a thread. Is that logical? Is that clear? So, we're trying to encourage one another to come to this platform. That's the value of sadhu sangha, associating with each other, sharing and caring and helping one another to stay fixed, to experience the nectar of Krishna's holy names, and to experience that Krishna is his holy name. And that experience is directly manifested from within your heart. And you sing it every single day, if you live in the temple. Chakudano diloye, janme janme Prabhu se, divya gyan hriday prakashito. Divya gyan, that divine knowledge. Hriday, in the heart, prakashita, becomes manifest. It doesn't come from outside. Here's divine knowledge. It doesn't come from a book. It manifests from within. This is a transcendental process. Pavitram idam uttamam. It's the most transcendental process. It's a mystical process. It's mystical. It's completely subjective. It's like eating. Nobody knows if I'm hungry or I'm full. Someone invites me for dinner. I go over there and say, "You must be hungry," they say. They don't know if I'm hungry or not. They're hoping because they cooked. They have no idea if I'm hungry or not. No scientific instruments can measure whether you're hungry or not. It's completely subjective. No scientific instrument can measure who you love. Who is the person you respect the most? This is all completely subjective. So we're talking about a subjective science of Krishna consciousness that you have to directly experience from within your own heart. So like Prabhupada said to me, don't be Krishna unconscious. First become conscious, then you can become Krishna conscious. So I'm sharing that memory with you for your benefit. And I hope that I was able to say something that benefited you. Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Yes, this gentleman here.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
When I came in, he was telling that while you do Japa, we should turn on Prabhupada's Japa also. So Prabhupada has a certain kind of rhythm he's doing, I'm doing my own way. So I always get distracted because my rhythm and Prabhupada's rhythm interact. Say, for example, you are a good singer. If somebody sings beside you out of tune, you will be distracted. So could you please?
Okay, so your mind has come up with a reason, a rationale why you wouldn't follow that. But you don't have to follow that. I just gave you my idea, and I said you can come up with your own idea. But if you don't come up with any idea, then you're not going to change. If you keep doing the same thing, don't expect a different result. If you want a different result, you're going to have to do something different. So you figure out what that is. Maybe you'll come up with something that works for you. But you may want to try getting into Prabhupada's rhythm. I said it would take you a day. So at least try for one day and see if you can come into his rhythm. Because in order to do that, you have to control your mind. This is about controlling the mind, because as Krishna says, the uncontrolled mind is your worst enemy. The uncontrolled mind is taking you away from your quality time alone with Krishna. That's why it's your worst enemy. But the controlled mind that's fully attentive to hearing the holy names is your best friend. Will everybody agree with that? So you consider and then do as you feel is right.
Prabhupada has two japas. One is group japa, one is his own way, slow japa. So if you follow the slow one, it will take long time to finish 16 rounds, And in this fast-paced world, we have to...
Well, he chants Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. There's that famous tape. Sit properly. You've heard it?
Yeah.
He's chanting with the devotees in the temple room, same speed as everybody else. The point is this: you want to control your mind. Either you control your mind, or your mind controls you. It's only two possibilities. You make the decision. Choice is yours. There's no force here. Any other points for discussion?
Hare Krishna, thank you for the very inspiring lecture and very inspiring Kirtan. I was very amazed yesterday when I came, there were only very few people, but you were singing as if there were 5,000 people. I mean, you were so absorbed and enjoying the holy name. So what's the secret? How do you get so much taste?
Okay, the secret is this. Listen carefully. You're not chanting for the audience. You're chanting for Krishna. It doesn't matter if you're alone or there's 1,000 people. There's no difference. If you make a difference between being alone and having 1,000 people out there, then it's your ego has gotten in the way. And you're thinking, am I doing it right? Do they like it? Am I in tune? Is this the right melody? Do we have the right rhythm? You're destroying the kirtan. So that's one point. Second point is this. Everything you do for Krishna should be your very best. Krishna deserves to get your best. Doesn't matter how many people are in the room. If I'm chanting Krishna's names, I want to give him the best that I can do. Because he deserves the best. And if I'm giving Krishna second best, he will reciprocate with me second best. Ye yatamam prapadyante tams tataiva bhajam yaham. As you approach me, I reciprocate accordingly. So if we make Krishna second fiddle, he'll respond and reciprocate with us as second fiddle. But if we make Krishna number one in our life, guess what happens? He makes you number one in his life. Is that what we want? If we make Krishna number one in our heart, he makes you number one in his heart. Ye yatamam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajam yaham. This is Krishna's philosophy of life. It's his motto. Once we understand how he operates, then I control my relationship with Krishna. If he's going to reciprocate with me the way I approach him, then I can approach him in a particular way so that he'll reciprocate in that way. And the way I want to approach him is with 100% the best that I can do. So that he will reciprocate with me his 100% the best that he can do. Now, whose 100% the best you can do is more powerful? My 100% or Krishna's 100%? So it's a good deal for me, right? If I give my little puny 100% and he reciprocates with his unlimited 100%, is that a good deal for me? So why am I not doing that? That's what I have to ask myself. What's my problem? So I was told that 5:45, we're all going to chant Japa together, right? Is that the time now? So maybe what we're going to do is we're going to chant with a new perspective, with a new consciousness, with a little bit more heart and more feeling, just one round. What do you think? Should we take advantage of this next few minutes we have together and chant that one round with full feeling, offenselessly? And when the mind starts wandering, you stop it immediately. You do not allow the mind to take you away from attentive chanting. Can you do that? Let's try. Let's see if we can do that. Okay, so the beads are coming. Are there any other questions that we can discuss? Or any point of interest? Any comments? Any disagreements? Challenges? Okay.
One quick question. What is Krishna's attitude towards the jiva before the jiva falls from the spiritual sky and during their recuperation back into the spiritual world? Does his attitude change?
Okay, that's a very good question. And the answer is very simple. You just ask Krishna, what is your attitude? He's in your heart. He's not very far. You just close your eyes, go into a meditation, say, my dear Krishna, what is your attitude for the jivas before creation? And what is your attitude for the jivas during this, in the whole thing? Now, my experience is that whenever I wanted to know something, I would meditate on that for some time, maybe a day, 2, a week, whatever. And as long as I continued to want to know the answer, eventually Krishna would reciprocate and give me that answer. Ye yatamam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajam yaham. As you approach Krishna, you're approaching Krishna with a question. He'll reciprocate accordingly. And what you can also do is you can say to Krishna, please give me an answer with an unmistakable sign so that I will know that it's your answer and it's not my mind. So Krishna will give you an unmistakable sign with that answer so you'll know it's from him. But if you're asking me, do I know Krishna's attitude at any time, place, and circumstance? Can anybody say they know such a thing? You understand the point? Well, love is eternal. Love is Satchit Ananda. Love is from the spiritual realm, so it has all the qualities of the spiritual realm. Love is not an emotion from this planet. And when that divine love comes in contact with material energy, then it transforms into lust. So what we're thinking is love is not pure divine love, but it's usually tinged with lust. And how do we know what's the difference between love and lust? Yeah?
Lust is wanting to serve your senses, and love is wanting to serve the other person's senses, but in a spiritual way?
Well, that's one way. Okay.
आत्मेंद्रिय प्रीति हेतु से बोले काम, कृष्णेंद्रिय हेतु से बोले प्रेम. So if you are pleasing yourself, that is काम, lust. If you are pleasing Krishna, that is love. From Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Okay, this is what he was saying, basically. So the way I explain it, in a very simple way that anybody can understand, without quoting shlokas and without getting philosophical, you can tell the difference between love and lust by its direction. Love starts in the heart and it goes out to others. Lust starts from out there and comes to me. So I desire so many things and I want it all to come to me. So lust, the direction is to me, and love, the direction is to everyone else. Sorry? You give out. Yeah, you give rather than receive. So Lord Chaitanya says, Janma sarta korikora para upakara. We perfect our lives by working for the benefit of others. That's how our lives become perfect. We can never perfect our lives by working for our own benefit. Every living entity on this planet is working for their own benefit. Every human, every bird, every animal, every fish, they're working for their own benefit. Their lives are not perfect. But those saints who are working for the benefit of others, their lives are perfect. Sri Chaitanya, Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Sri Gadadhar, Haridas Thakur, Lord Jesus, Saint Francis of Assisi. Every saint who's working for the benefit of others, their lives are perfect, and we glorify them for thousands of years. What more proof do we need? So Janma Sarta Korikora Paraupakar, working for the benefit of others, means the love is going out. The direction is from the heart out to others. So you just look at the direction. Which way is it going? Sometimes I'll do something for somebody, but I want the benefit. I'm doing some service so that I'll get recognized, and someone will say, oh, he's so advanced, he's so spiritual, he's this, he's that. But that's lust, because the direction is for me, my benefit. So the benefit really has to be for someone else. Para upakar. Upakar means the benefit, and para means for others. Right? Confirmed? Okay. Thank you very much. So let's chant one round of japa together, and try to chant in such a way that this is your quality time alone with Krishna. You're in the kunj, it's just you and Krishna. Practice this because this is our goal. We want to go to Goloka Vrindavan and be in the kunj with Krishna. So here's our practice. So I recommend we close our eyes, because when your eyes are open, you're always analyzing and taking in knowledge. Taking in knowledge. The color of the walls, the pictures, what people are wearing, this, that, and everything. But if you close your eyes, you're alone in that kunj with Krishna. Okay? So here we go. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I just want to make one comment so that nobody gets the wrong idea. That just because I can speak about some of these ideas doesn't mean that I'm in a higher platform than anybody else in this room. There's only two conditions of life. You're either Krishna conscious or you're not. So we're all in the material world. So that we're all fallen. The non-fallen condition is when you're in the spiritual realm. So we're just trying to do our best. So if the message you can take away from this talk that I gave today was just try to do your best for Krishna, because Krishna deserves your best. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.